Here's the deal. When you heal, okay, let me go here. This is probably, if I could wrap it up with this. Imagine if you could completely let go of all your guilt, fear, and shame. Think about that for a second. Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com, and welcome to your Power Flow. All right, so this is going to be an interesting and different video than I've ever made before, although it does go along with everything that I teach. In fact, that's where this is was stimulated from. So first of all, I want to start it out with this. I am creating or manifesting a new world, and I'm taking you along with me. So for those of you who've been following me, believe it or not, but your energy has been shifting, all right? So here's one of the concepts. The first time I heard it was from a I call it crazy guy named Bashar. He's actually pretty cool. He's a spiritual guy. But when I first heard him, I thought, this guy's nuts. Now, I've listened to a lot of nuts stuff over the years, studying, Hawaiian Huna, listening to kahunas, Buddhist monks, and it was far. But then when I heard this guy Bashar, this was like the next level far out. But it actually was in alignment with a lot of stuff we were learning in Hawaii for this 5-week training. So let me get into it. So real basically, it's this. There are multi-realities, okay? So, God, what was that movie? There was a movie that, I think it was Jackie Chan or another, it might have been Jet Li. God, I don't remember which one it was. But he made a movie where he was this cop. And then all of a sudden one day, and he also studied martial arts and stuff. And then one day he was like, he could run faster and he could jump higher. He was like, oh, what the hell? And he was stronger. And then as weeks went by, it happened again. He's like, and other people noticed, like, whoa, bro, what's going on? Like, you just jumped like higher than an Olympic athlete. And it was really incredible what he was doing. Well, what was happening was there was other people, other him, in other different dimensions of the planet. But it was the same, it was not the same planet, but it was the same planet as it's another Earth, another Earth, another Earth, another Earth, another Earth, another Earth, right? And so this is a movie that was made about this idea of multi-dimensional things. And so what happened was when someone died or was killed on one of these other dimensions, then he got more power, right? So that's not necessarily what I'm talking about, but that's what I've been feeling is this amazing power lately, like incredible power lately. And I'm shifting it to you. So this Bashar guy started saying, look, there's other dimensions. In another Earth, President Obama is still the president. And another one, it's freaking Trump. And I don't want to go on a political path. But the point being, he says, if you don't like your reality, shift to another dimension, shift to a reality that you want. And here's the thing. If you want to know how, you just do it. You just decide. All right? So here's the thing. I made a shift recently, and I made a huge shift, and it's freaking awesome. So let me tell you something that's going to happen in this earth, okay? I know that sounds so bizarre, especially for those of you who haven't really gone down the rabbit hole or the spiritual path. So here's the deal. We're shifting to a happier place. It's a funner place. And the other thing is this. It's about flow and accessing more power by letting go of control, by letting go of resistance. Earlier today, I went to REI, and as I was coming out, I was going to my car, and I think I just started to pull out. And cold fusion was a thought that just came up out of nowhere. Now, I'm not going to go into depth what cold fusion is. You can Google it. But when I was looking into that years ago, just learning a little bit about it, okay? They were basically saying, now here's the thing, well, listen to this word. When they finally unlock the secrets to cold fusion, we're going to have unlimited energy and there's not going to be pollution. I thought, man, that's great. Well, here's the deal, excuse me. We are entering into an age, and this was the thought that I really had, was of no resistance. That's where we're going, okay? That's what this whole shift is about. So we are going to shift to such non-resistance or lack of resistance where everything just flows. We're going to look back and be like, God, why did they we're going to realize everything that's been created was created with resistance, and almost like we did it on purpose. Why? Okay, watch this. And this is just an example. It's not just men, it's people. But for my course, Cracked Female Code, invariably, every client that came to me, I want to get married, I want to save my marriage, I want to meet a girl, right? So I'm a dating relationship coach. Is they had so much resistance, like they had the brakes on, and there's a bunch of techniques that I walked them through to help them to open, to let go. Okay, now this allows your chakras to open up, and I'm going to get to that in a second. My door is a big, heavy wooden door right over there, and it opens inwards. So I go ahead and push on the door. So they push. I go, no, push harder. I go, no, push harder. Push harder. Harder. I go, is the door opening? He's, well, no. And I go, watch this. And I, in a very soft way, turn the handle, and I pull it just a little bit, and I let it go. My door is actually built to where it slowly opens up on its own once you open the handle. I go, isn't that amazing? Once you let go, it just opens wide open all by itself. And that's where you access your power, okay? That's going to be the power. And I don't want to say fuel because it's not going to be like gasoline. All of that is explosive. The whole idea of combustion engines is based off of explosive resistance, okay? We are going to shift into an era where everything is about non-resistance. If you study race cars or any kind of racing, rockets, spaceships, it's all about creating it to where it flows, where you have less and less resistance because you can go faster. If you got a big flat thing going up against the wind, there's a lot of resistance, okay? So that's where we're going in this world, okay? All right, now. Okay, I'm going to talk about a healing thing about you. I'm not sure which way to do this. Hold on. All right. So here's the deal. When everything we learn in therapy and healing and NLP and in hypnosis, in energy healing, etc., is we have different parts going around in our system. One part wants to go this way, the other part wants to go that way, the third part wants to go this way. So we're literally doing this tug of war. There's a ton of resistance going on inside. Inside me, because I've been doing clearing and healing for so long, there's just no resistance. In fact, this last clearing, such a huge thing had cleared to where it was like there was no resistance at all. And I felt lost, and that's why I haven't been on here for 2 months or more. I've just been like, oh. It was really weird, and I realized I still didn't know what it was. I couldn't explain. It felt good, and it was like there's no thinking, there's no chaos in my brain, or ping pong. None of that was going on. There was a sense of just like, number one, who am I? Because there was no resistance. My whole life, there's always been internal resistance, just like probably most of you. And so here, let me blow this can out. This can always makes me sneeze. And so it felt like I was lost, but it really wasn't lost. What it was I had integrated all those parts. And now it's like the brakes are off and I'm just flowing through life. Something intuitively told me, or it was a feeling really, I didn't hear anything, that this is all going to fall into place. Just go with it for now. You'll figure it out. You're going to understand what's going on, okay? So that's kind of part of the thing when you learn to let go. It's like, because when you're so used to controlling everything, letting go is like a weird thing. Like, whoa, what do I do, man? Well, let it go of the brakes and you kind of drive around, push on the gas pedal a little bit. Ooh. It doesn't feel as powerful, but it's more powerful. So what I'm trying to say, number one, we have created this planet based on a resistance mentality. And how to explain this? It's like the people on the planet who've been very left brain and controlling and holding on to everything. It's like they're losing their grip and they're like, no, and they're freaking out, okay? And you might be freaking out too. I'm not necessarily saying you're one of those people, but humans in general are resistance, control, grabby creatures, right? We want to control things. We want to own everything. Now, I'm not saying suddenly you're just going to be like dirt poor and see that's the illusion. You're not going to be dirt poor. It's like, I think a lot of people say, so what, are we going to be walking around on our feet barefoot and not going to drive any cars around? Like, oh, that's going to suck. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's kind of like Elon Musk cars or electric cars, Tesla, etc. You're not going to have that carbon. Now, I know the batteries are made in the factories. I know it's horrible, and it does make all the carbon there too. But they're going to figure out a way to where it's there's no resistance involved. The reason why I mentioned the cars is because the way the power that goes to the wheels, it's a different kind of form of energy. Okay, I'm not going to go. I'm going into too depth already. What I'm trying to say is, all right, God, I'm going to use this. So inside, people tend to have resistance, and we tend to express that everywhere. So if you have an energy of being stuck, like the brakes are on, you're frustrated, you can't go anywhere, whenever you get into conversation with someone, you'll express that into the conversation and onto them, all right? We've been doing this with making transportation, with making food, with making conveyor belts, with factories, with everything, even our conversations. That's going to change too. Everything's starting to open up. There's a sense of flow. So for me, I felt my solar plexus chakra, it just like finally opened up, and I'm like, well, this is different, because it's always been kind of locked down, like doing sit-ups or something, flexing, right? And it's like, okay, what is this? Like at first it felt scary, it felt lost, but now that I've been with it for a few weeks or a few months now, it's like, oh, okay, I get this. This is really cool. Here's the deal: when you heal, okay, let me go here. This is probably, if I could wrap it up with this. Imagine if you could completely let go of all your guilt, fear, and shame. Think about that for a second. A lot of people don't realize the reason why they didn't go to that college, the reason why they didn't become an actor or a singer, the reason why they didn't follow through or join choir in high school, the reason why you didn't push yourself to get to a higher level is because you have shame. A lot of you probably don't. You probably drink beer and laugh, and you got this whole thing. And that's what happens when your ego, right? You're blocking it out. You're acting like I don't have it. Well, that's like when someone like me is clear. I see it as clear as day. What I'm trying to get you to understand is, number one, your ego will keep you from everything that you've ever wanted, because the ego is the brake. That is the resistance. When you learn to let go of that, everything starts to happen for you. I really want to go back to that same sentence. Imagine if you could completely heal and integrate and completely let go of, it's completely healed, all your fear, anger, guilt, shame, and frustration. I really want to focus on shame. Just imagine that one thing, completely gone, just gone, done, forever. Like, not that you put it aside and it's still over here, a lot of shame. I mean, imagine if you completely healed it, and it's like, okay, here's what happens with energy, emotions. They get crystallized, because before they were just fluid. It was just fluid energy. It just flowed. It was just energy. That's all it was. It wasn't shame. It wasn't guilt. It wasn't fear. It wasn't any of that. What happens is something came along and scared you or hurt you or taught you something. This is bad. This is wrong. You should feel ashamed. And then that emotion, that, imagine a certain amount of this energy, that much of the energy or whatever, it got crystallized like, what do they call it? Sugar candy? It's like when it begins to crystallize, it freezes up. They put them on sticks or whatever. It crystallized like a snowflake or something. And all you have to do is work with someone like me, an energy healer, to allow it to, it dissolves. Like, when you put sugar in warm water or just in water or even salt, and you spin it around a little bit, it dissolves. It completely integrates. When it heals, it goes back into the whole core you. Now, it's not a little thing floating around. That's the way it is right now. It completely dissolves and becomes at one with your entire system. Now there's not that push and pull conflict going on, that resistance. When you let go of all of that stuff, all of a sudden you're like, well, this is nice. I'm going to end it with this. Do you know someone, or did you know someone when you were younger, maybe middle school, high school, or your 20s, or even maybe now, Like everything just seems to flow for them. They just seem to, there's something about them. Like they always get the job, they always get the guy, or they always get the girl, or they always make the money, or they always get that opportunity. Like wow, they always get the breaks. Like they always get, the job that they wanted, or someone opens a door for them, etc., etc. Same thing with getting good grades. Same thing with anything. They don't have resistance, or they don't have as much resistance in their energy. They just flow with stuff. Here's what happens. If you walk into a room and you have open, flowing energy, when a person comes into your space or interacts with you, even if it's over the phone, 100 miles, 1,000 miles away, their energy will shift into more of a flow state. It's unconscious. I used to hear this stuff 25, 30 years ago when I started this journey of going to all these NLP trainings and hypnosis and Tony Robbins, and you heard it at every training. And I thought, oh, it's bullshit. I just didn't believe it. No. Until it started happening for me. It was one thing, and then another thing, and then another. Now I'm like, man, this is really awesome. So, hold on. Like, I made some videos a while back. I believe I uploaded them, and I don't think it was that long, about 3 months ago, 4 months ago, but it was how I always get free stuff. I'm always getting free this, free that. Oh, here, have an extra one on me. It's for free. Don't worry about it. Happens all the time. That was just one of the things I thought, oh, this is so cool. You have to learn how to open up your energy. Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. I promise you, I am taking you to a better world. It's happiness, sunshine, flow, getting along with people. Now, here's the thing. When I talk about flow, I don't mean, we're all going to be homeless and no one's going to have a car. No, they're going to figure out a better way to create energy that applies to everything from heating your home to transportation to everything, to where the environment's going to be cleaner. Things are going to get better. I'll see you guys in the next video.